2.
I'm back from a 3-week ride on the South Island of New Zealand on this beautiful KTM 390 Enduro R, a motorcycle that I've genuinely been waiting to ride for a long time, and it's finally available here in New Zealand, and man, what an experience it's been. But one of the things that I was particularly proud of on this trip was the luggage setup that I was able to run. The first time I went touring on a motorcycle about 10 years ago, my luggage setup looked like this. That's primarily because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what to expect. And obviously, the gear that I owned and had access to was very basic. I was carrying gum boots in my luggage because I didn't have waterproof riding boots. So realities were very different. I do know that since then, I've constantly tried to improve my setup. The previous lightest kit that I've carried, I think for a weekend ride might have been about 32 liters in a tail bag. And for longer trips were a 52-liter tail bag and a 12-liter pod, so about 64 liters plus a tank bag. This, on the other hand, this setup, it's the LFA XC, the cross-country saddlebags from Viaterra, which are about 13 liters on each side, so that's 26 liters, and a pod 12 on top. To put that in perspective, an average everyday urban backpack is between 20 to 30 liters typically. A compact travel backpack might be 40 liters, and average rucksacks start beyond 50 liters, 60, 70, you go on. So even in a backpacking ecosystem, 38 liters is a very, very light setup. Doing that in a motorcycling context, that takes some doing. So here's what my kit looked like. I had 3 dry fit t-shirts, 3 boxers, 2 pairs of thermal layers, light trekking pants, thicker, like evening pants again, 1 pair of shorts. Because this is New Zealand, you should always carry a pair of swim shorts. You never know when you'll find a good hot spring. I had a compact kit with toiletries, a towel, and a little pouch full of chargers for my cameras and various batteries. A little mug so that I always had something to make coffee in. I had a compact sleeping bag, which I had borrowed. I don't presently have that, but this fleece jacket is indicative of approximately how large that sleeping bag was. So I did actually have a sleeping bag in these bags, and I had this puffer. This puffer from Kathmandu is actually something that I've learned to value hugely. I used to be someone who just lived in the same layers that I wore while I was riding, but I've learned that sometimes you could end up in foolish situations and end up getting some of your gear wet. So it's good to have a spare set of warm clothes that pack down compactly, but you always have something dry to wear at the end of the day. The other benefit of doing this is that you can wear thinner layers below. So if you have warmer layers to wear over it, you can wear thinner layers below and just compress everything else that you're carrying. So I could carry dry fit t-shirts and a warm jacket. I had my regular full toolkit, which is something that I've minimized over the years, but it worked just fine for this. I had a compact air pump. That's something new that I bought, and this thing really packs down really, really small. And the heaviest part of my primary kit were a pair of shoes to wear in the evening, and I indulged myself a little bit. I also carried a pair of flip-flops. They call them jandals here, or thongs in Australia, but just having a pair of flip-flops, it's easier to get in and out of them. You don't have to wear your shoes every time. So one of the nice things on the LFA saddlebags is that you have these molly loops on the outside of the saddlebag, and I use them to secure my rain gear. So this is my waterproof jacket and my waterproof pant rolled together and secured with the Pronto straps. Obviously, one is it frees up space on the inside. 2 is that it keeps it very easily accessible. And if your gear is wet and you're sort of stashing it away, it doesn't get anything inside the bags wet. So I really like this sort of outside storage space option. And you also have your external pocket, which is a zippered pocket. This part of the bag is waterproof, this part is not, but this is all quick access stuff. So I use this for tools, a little silicone funnel because I expected the 390 tank, the tiny tank, to require fuel along the way, but it worked brilliantly. So some zip ties, some Velcro straps, and a head torch. This pod was primarily because I was carrying my laptop too and getting some work done on the way. So this had my laptop and a tech pouch with chargers and laptop related stuff, SSD, memory cards, things like that. Since I had the space, I did carry a few of my everyday things, the clothes that I was currently using in the evening and stuff like that in this bag. So this bit really was a tech pouch. So if I wasn't carrying my laptop and stuff, I may not have even needed the pod, but it was good to have it. It was convenient. And I used this as a space to stash my little mobile phone tripod. The tank bag was like control center in a sense. Like this was my camera and comfort area. I had a beanie and a summer hat. There were some days when I needed this, but mostly this is what I needed whenever I got my helmet off. Mike's camera that I'm currently using, which was approximately this size, but I was actually carrying a 70-200 lens on the trip, and I was able to fit it in here with that body, which I was quite impressed by. And a power bank, because things need to be charged on the go. ND filters for the GoPro. I had some cables, a pen, and memory cards and things like that that you might need access to quickly over here, so that was really handy. This side was battery center, all fresh camera batteries for the GoPro and for the DSLR. This was a lifesaver. Many a meal was consumed courtesy of this little blue spoon that always lived in the tank bag after being washed up. And this pocket, very handy. I used it for dead batteries. So charge batteries here, dead batteries here. That was my way of organizing, but you could use it for like your earplugs and other stuff. On this side, I just had two balaclavas. This was a fleece balaclava, and this is a like dry fit second skin balaclava. Depending on the weather, depending on the time of day, I would just swap balaclavas. To be honest, when I first saw this luggage and when I first thought about the task of trying to fit everything that I needed for a trip like this into, well, effectively 38 liters of primary storage, I thought it was impossible or going to be extremely inconvenient. But it turned out to be a lot easier than I'd expected. It is something that you build up to in some ways, because obviously like shrinking my toolkit, having better gear, these are all things that I've been doing over the years. So moving to a more minimalistic luggage setup, to my mind, is something that you build up to. But if you don't want it, and if you're not trying to do it, you'll never get there. Now, is it for everyone? Possibly not. There are people who really like to travel with their creature comforts, and for them, heavier luggage setups work well. You probably also want to ride a motorcycle that complements that sort of lifestyle. And honestly, I barely even felt the luggage. It was such an incredible package overall. The motorcycle, the luggage system, all of the gear, and of course, the time of year, the weather, the company, everything came together, made for a fantastic trip. And I do think that even if you're someone who can't necessarily pack down so compactly, just using saddlebags like these, the Rackless system, and moving some of your weight down, that's going to improve where that weight sits on your motorcycle. So even if you were going to run a larger tail bag, that's not ideal. But if you were going to do it, this still makes a difference. So in terms of that ecosystem of who it works for, that's quite wide. It's not just about that extreme use case. It's also for people who are trying to make that progressive improvement in what they carry and how they carry it. When you're not too rigid and sort of setting boundaries for yourself, you just end up being able to do more kinds of things and have fun while you're doing it. For this particular trip and what I was trying to do, this setup just worked brilliantly.